look at a player's form. We always judge players by their form, how well they've played, how much they have played, how often and consistent they are for their previous clubs. But there are a few exceptions on the market, and those exceptions include players like Martin Odegaard. He's not played a lot of football for Real Madrid. That doesn't make him a bad player. Maybe can't get in. Maybe the manager doesn't actually fancy him. So with Fabian Ruiz, I think it's a case of the manager rather than the player. So at PSG, yes, he doesn't play. They have Vitinha in that position. Vitinha is fantastic. And I've said before, it's not shameful and it's not embarrassing. It's not a disgrace for you to sit on the bench while a player, the talent of Vitinha starts, because Vitinha is very, I would say industrious. Defensively, he's good, better than Fabian Ruiz, and then in the attacking sense, he's also very, very good. So he's an industrious player. So, but we know that Luis Enrique is not a big fan of Fabian Ruiz, even during his time at Spain, during his time at PSG. Not the biggest fan of Fabian Ruiz. He doesn't hate him. I know Arsenal fans quickly say, "Oh, the manager hates him." No, he doesn't really hate him, but probably what he's trying to do, he doesn't fit into that. Mikel Merino for Spain at the Euros, then the tables flip. It's not that the manager doesn't actually understand him. I think Del Fuente understands Mikel Merino better than any manager in this world, but the way Spain were playing and the tempo at which they were playing at, the quick speed and the quick feet and everything, you play Fabian Ruiz. That's why Fabian Ruiz was starting, and Mikel Merino was coming onto the pitch to do kind of a game management role. Slow it down, but be safe in possession. Just make sure that you take care of the ball. That is Mikel Merino. So basically, yeah, I will understand why Arsenal fans want Fabian Ruiz. They have seen him at the Euros, and they've said, I've seen enough. This guy should be at the Emirates right now. And that happens. The recency bias, the recency syndrome happens a lot of the time when we judge players. Like if you ask Arsenal players right now, how many of you want Trossard to be sold or Martinelli to be sold? None of them will think about the future. They will say, keep Trossard, said Martinelli, he had a bad season. If Martinelli gets a good season over Trossard, they'll say, sell Trossard, keep Martinelli. So it's just the recency bias. But also, I want to say this. There are not so many people and there are not so many fans that are willing to go out there, sit down and look at Mikel Merino for 100, 200, 300 minutes. They'll just look at this guy and he looks tall. He looks like a defender. He looks like these, traditional Peter Crouch kind of prototypes. And they're like, why would a central midfielder look like this? Why would you be a central midfielder with this kind of long legs? And Fabian Ruiz, I cannot lie, he really looks like a midfielder. Like when you think about him, when you look at him, he's a midfielder. But we cannot judge a player like that. Because you've not watched him, it doesn't mean he's not good. I mean, we signed Julian Timber. People had barely seen Julian Timber play. I mean, maybe the name had excited them, but there are not so many people that had seen Julian Timber play, to be honest. There are not so many people that had given attention to Ben White, to be honest. The same as Alexander Zinchenko, the same as Kivio, the same as Tomiyasu. And they turned out to be, to be all right, to be good players. So I would say we can judge them on all the metrics that are available, but let us not judge them by saying, I've not seen this guy play, so he's not good.
Not good, yeah. So 5 quick fire questions. Who between those two players, who would have the best chance of starting at Arsenal?
Best chance of starting at Arsenal, I think that left central midfield area is very, very open, up for grabs. I can see Declan Rice shift into the 6. But with Ricardo Calafiori now coming in, is Mikel Merino, I would say. Because what Mikel wants is someone who understands that role very well and someone who is willing to minimize the space they operate in. So when you think about Xhaka in his last season at Arsenal, literally, Xhaka was like between Zinchenko and Martinelli. Like literally, that's where he played. If you've watched him at the Euros, he was everywhere on the pitch, like everywhere. It was Xhaka for Switzerland, everywhere. And that's the difference. That Mikel is looking for a player who is going to have that zone, the way Odegaard operates in that zone on the right hand side. We're looking for someone to operate in that zone on the left hand side, but someone to operate a little bit further forward to allow Ricardo Calafiori space to come into, but also to allow Gabriel Martinelli space to enter into as well. So I would say Mikel Merino, because he needs less space and he's very, very technical as a player.
Okay, quick fire. More positions. Who would play the more positions?
More positions, obviously Fabian Ruiz, obviously.
Okay, 30 million for Merino or Ruiz on loan with an obligation to buy next season.
Oh, 30 million for Merino. 30 million for Merino.
Sign both or sign one and then sign a winger?
Sign one and sign a winger. Sign one and sign a winger. Yeah.
Okay. If both are signed, do you think that is the end of Partey?
No.
Okay, so there's a situation where you can sign all of them and Partey stays and Rice and Jorginho.
I think Partey in Arsenal is like a player you have to lose, but you can't afford to lose.
So it's like Barcelona with Busquets. Busquets, you have to have him there, even if you have a lot of other midfielders. Okay,
yeah, and that's why Busquets just went on to play for a long time.
Yeah, now, unfortunately, signing all of these players means we are losing one of the Haaland boys, and that is Smith Rowe. Yesterday, I haven't even gotten time to talk about this one. We got a here we go from Fabrizio saying Emil Smith Rowe to Fulham. Here we go. Arsenal accept that 4 million package offered. Club record signing for Fulham as ESI will travel for medical tests and sign the contract. 27 million fixed fee, 7 million add-ons, as reported by Sky Sports said. And then Fabrizio went on to say Smith Rowe has already left Arsenal's camp, so by this time he's already arrived in London already, and actually according to Sky Sports said Emil Smith was already in London to undergo his Fulham medical this afternoon, and at the time of recording he's probably already undergone the medical. So it is over for Smith Rowe at Arsenal. He will be joining Fulham. Both of us agree that we want him to go there and do absolutely well, and we were also told that Arsenal could not reject the structure and the package, the structure of the package. So what do you think is included in that package? Do you think there's a buyback clause or sell-on clause the way you love it? You love sell-on clause. Do you think we've included something like that, or do you have a feeling that we haven't included anything like that?
I actually have a feeling that we've not included anything like that. I think it's a record sale, and I think Fulham have just told Arsenal, "We will give you the money you want. It's going to be a record for you. You've never sold a player this expensively." But we are not giving you a buyback clause, and we're not giving you a sell-on clause, because Fulham are smart. They know if they have bought Joao Palhinha and they have been able to flip him, what about a talent like Emil Smith Rowe? So I think this one is where we will be disappointed as Arsenal fans, but we are not getting any buyback. We're not getting any sell-on clauses.
How do you feel about Smith Rowe leaving? Are you sad? Have you been unable to sleep because Smith Rowe is leaving Arsenal? Are you like, okay, how sad are you out of 10 that Smith Rowe is leaving Arsenal?
How sad am I out of 10? I'm